Hi guys, oh my goodness, I'm so excited to share this. You just watched the time lapse, so I'm just going to give you some tips for success going forward with your pumpkin. These are paper mache pumpkins, and what I love about these, if you're embellishing them, there's no need to spend a lot of money on the details of a decorative pumpkin. These were $1.99. I think I got them last season. It's a great time to get your things too because everything's on sale. And what also is great about these for the project that I'm doing is that your molds are paper, clay going on paper mache. And so the wood glue with those three, it's a perfect marriage. It'll all adhere wonderfully. And you'll see in the time lapse that I put my molds directly on the paper mache. Now, if you're using a different type of pumpkin, which you can, and I encourage just use what you have, say one of those orange shiny ones that you can get just about anywhere, you're going to want to put a little tooth on that. Tooth just means something that you can put on the pumpkin, whether it's sanding it or a product that the paint and the clay molds can grab onto. So in that case, I would just use good old Mod Podge. You can sand it, but I think that would be pretty time consuming trying to get the whole pumpkin. Just Mod Podge it up and then you're ready to go. And then I just used my IOD molds. If you saw my lamp transformation a couple episodes ago, you'll see that I use these same molds. I love these. IOD molds are amazing. If your molds start sticking, and you'll see sometimes in the time lapse, you know, I have to be very slow about taking them out. I just take my time. But if you're in a rush and they start grabbing, just use a little cornstarch with your little paintbrush and coat the inside, and it'll do wonderful and probably keep your molds a little bit cleaner. Then I went over, this is Old 57. If you're wanting the look of what I did, this is Old 57 DIY. But again, you could custom use whatever you have. It doesn't have to be this. Whatever your tablescape is or your home decor. Now I made a little boo-boo, and so I wanted to share that because it'll help you guys too. I knew better. I knew because in my lamp tutorial, I used the top coat. Once I painted all of this, I should have put the top coat on before the wax. So you can put the top coat under the wax, but you can't put the top coat on top of the wax. So it would have had a prettier little sheen to it, and I would have been able to manipulate the wax a little bit better. And in the time lapse, if you watched it, you'll see that I struggled a little bit with bringing the wax back off. And I was getting ready to go get my clear wax to kind of, that used sometimes as a nice eraser, but since I didn't use the top coat, it would have been difficult as well. So make sure you use a top coat. DIY makes an incredible top coat that I love, that I use predominantly. I just had too many irons in the fire that day, and I don't know what I was thinking. I just forgot. So don't be like me, use a top coat, then go over it with a distressing wax. Now this comes in all different colors. You can get this at the hardware store, white, brown, black. Again, DIY makes this product as well, but this is inexpensive, and it's what, again, I had here at the house. And then I went all over it. I got in all the nooks and crannies and made sure I got in. That's what gives your product depth, and it makes it look a little bit more upscale. Now, here's the other thing that was kind of a bummer. I wanted to use pennies from Having Copper because I wanted my pumpkin to look like maybe a piece of turquoise jewelry in a way. I wanted it to mimic that. I couldn't get it open. For the life of me, I could not get the jar open. I tried everything. So I ended up using Golden Ticket, and I think it's pretty as well, but I think the next one that I make for sure, I'm going to use the copper. I think it would be beautiful. Now, if you look at this little short guy here, he's got a little stump of a stem. So I decided he needed a fancy stem, and I also made that out of paper clay, and you'll see that on the time lapse, me kind of manipulating that into a stem shape. Now, if you see, he's even got, I took a tool and I think I want to say it was a putty knife. I just made little indentions in that to mimic a real stem. And then I let it dry. And that's my other big tip too. And I've done this myself. I get the wet clay on and I want to paint it immediately. And sometimes I do if I'm in a rush. But I really recommend letting it dry. Let it dry totally. It'll keep your definition a little bit crisper and cleaner, because when you add that paint, sometimes the brush will take out some of the detail. And there it is, guys. I hope you make this project. Look how beautiful he'll be on a Thanksgiving table. Maybe 3 of them running down the middle with little tea lights. I think he's just going to be glorious. You guys take care. Thank you for joining me for another episode of The Crown Bee. And I hope wherever you are, you're enjoying this fall to the fullest. You guys take care. Love you. Mwah. Bye.